went to Pittsburgh over the holiday weekend. Welcome to the underground, you rebel scum. Yeah, it was fun. My son, he had been feeling sick prior to that, but he got feeling better, so we decided to make the drive. Took him to see the Andy Warhol Museum, which he had some stuff that he was interested in. Mostly his own art, which he's pretty good at. But now that the weekend has finished, I have caught whatever the cold or flu was that he had. So I am now dealing with that. But while I was in Pittsburgh, I did happen upon something that has turned out to be pretty good. You guys probably aren't really going to be all that interested in, but this coffee, which, by the way, it turns out it's from New Orleans. It's a tourist place. I've actually been there years and years ago. Café du Monde, I guess is how you'd say it. I'm probably saying it wrong. Don't look to me for how to say anything in English or Chinese, especially French. I have no idea. But anyway, it's got chicory in it, which is something that I came across while I was in France, that people in the US don't usually, at least as far as I thought, don't usually know anything about or use. But yeah, they have it as a substitute for coffee, or sometimes mixed with coffee, I guess. I had it mixed with coffee. Anyway, this stuff has it in it. I don't know why it was at a Chinese market in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but well, it was. So I got it, and I've been enjoying it here at home. I probably sound pretty terrible. I feel pretty terrible. Usually I would say, it sounds worse than it is, but no, it sounds exactly how it is if it's coming through the microphone in the video. But yeah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. On the way back, I stopped in Wheeling, which has I guess the prototype, you could say, for the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, I took a couple of shots of that. I always like to go see it. They built that one first, I guess, to see that it would actually work before they actually built it in New York. So it's there. If you ever happen to pass by Wheeling for whatever reason, or you're in the Pittsburgh area, it's not far from Pittsburgh, you can go and check it out. It looks pretty neat. You can walk across it. I encountered some people who decided that they had to walk across it at that very late hour in the cold. According to the person that was with them, they had had a few too many at the Mexican restaurant and now wanted to take photos on the bridge. So their cell phone photos I had to wait for them to finish that and walk across the bridge. But it looks pretty neat, all lit up with neon. But yeah, you can see not feeling the best today. However, I do have comments that I need to get to. I need to respond to, because you guys did leave some comments on one of the previous videos, so I thought that I would do that as long as my voice and everything holds out. So yeah, let's take one more drink of the coffee and we'll get to those comments. Okay, let's get to these comments before, again, I lose my voice. From Yeti 8091. I hate that the American government and corporate media endlessly promote China as a threat. I'm not a leftist, but all this crazy government spending, military conquest, and building out a national security state is not good for the USA or the world. Anyway, I'd love for you to return to your original style of video, whether that's live or pre-recorded. I don't like to think of China as a threat. I think that they are in a way. This isn't anything against the Chinese or the Chinese government or any of that. It's just, because our government does the same thing. Where there is corruption or where there's a way to influence a powerful country like the United States and its policies, which have a dramatic impact on the world, they're going to find a way to do that. And unfortunately, contrary to what my beliefs were prior to going to China, where I thought, the United States is so awesome and uncorrupt, the most uncorrupt country in the world, that, China and the corruption, it turns out that we're like the most corrupt country on the planet. Everybody, and why not? Of course, everybody's going to want to influence that. There's money. It's the failing of our political class and declining morals, perhaps? I don't know. But for whatever reason, a lot of the political class seems to be in the pocket of China. That's becoming more and more apparent as things happen in the world. I know the Venezuela thing, whether it's the cartels or whatever power there is out there, apparently a lot of our political class is perfectly willing to fall in line and even, jump into the arms of people that might be adversarial towards the United States. Now, when it comes to military threat, China's not a military threat to the United States. Sure, they could possibly cause some damage, but I don't think that they're interested in going after us or going toe-to-toe with us militarily. However, that's not the only way. And in the world of corruption and money, I think that they probably are something of a threat, because we need to make sure that our government is serving the interests of the citizens of the United States, not the interests of a foreign power that may not have our best interests at heart. Just my thoughts. But that's nothing against China or the Chinese government. Of course they're going to do that. It would be expected. I wouldn't be surprised if some of our allies are doing the same thing, and we're doing it to them. And it's a big world of ugly things. Never mind. Anyway, I'd love to be back over there, and I may be this summer. I may be back in China wandering the fields. Who knows? It's kind of my other home, as you guys know, so I would love to be back over there. PG Chandler 6558. Now, if you guys have different names than what it's showing me, I'm sorry, but sometimes YouTube does this and it'll just give me random numbers and stuff instead of the screen name that you would prefer. But it says, I like the idea of getting back to your roots. I found your channel during the pandemic. Yeah, that was quite a time, wasn't it? But, we were fortunately spared a lot of the worst of the pandemic restrictions. Being out in the countryside for the New Year holiday, we were able to water the fields, and I was able to make those videos. Now, I guess, there are no pandemic restrictions, so I guess there is no now, but it would be great to be back over there, right? It's probably really cold right now, but it's really cold here, so what can I say? All right, Terry Short 6338. Thank you for the past 6 years. I thoroughly enjoy your content, and your production is amazing on your videos. I personally am not really into cameras or videography, but I do enjoy watching some of those videos, and hang on, I've got to expand it as well. You are greatly appreciated, sir. Well, I greatly appreciate all of you, and you for that comment. I know most people are not really, even myself, I wasn't really into cameras or any of that until I started making YouTube videos. I started off on a Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G, whatever it is, the one that was the cool one at the time, and then graduated into an Nikon camera, which got stolen, and then a Sony a6500, now a Sony a7 IV. Bought lenses and stuff. It's just something you kind of fall into if you get into any kind of video production. Not that my video production is, like I've got a studio or something, but I do try. I try to make it look as good as I can. That's my goal. Now, from Semper Fortis Nauta, I know exactly how you feel after working overseas and living out of a bag for almost 2 decades. Home doesn't feel like home no matter where I land in the States. Yeah, it's just that curse when you've lived abroad. It's not that, you don't like being in America or something. It's just that after you miss things when you're overseas in America, and then when you get back to America, you miss everything that you learned to appreciate in the place that you live overseas. So you no longer really fit. It's a real tragedy. By the way, I mentioned that I went to Pittsburgh. Speak of not fitting, stay at the hotel. It's nice enough. yeah, they have the coffee in the room, which I probably should have skipped. Maybe that's even why I'm sick. But the hotel breakfast, my son loved it. He always does. You get the waffle thing, you know. Yeah, hotel breakfast. Anyway, continuing with the comments. Andy Foxy, 3140, longtime viewer of the channel. The good old days, walking through the paddy fields at Grandpa's home. Used to enjoy the live streams too. Yeah, I used to do those live streams. I tried to do it, I think for a while I was doing it every night. Maybe I could get back to that. I don't know. I'd have to see what I could do. The internet's fast enough. I probably could do that. The fields though, that's the main, yeah, back in those fields. Maybe this summer. We'll have to see. Muted Ref. I recently watched a channel and commented that all the videos they produce will be cherished by their children later in life. Consider the videos you produce and how your child will cherish them. I think that my son will, I don't know, he might go back and watch them, assuming that YouTube is still a thing in the future. Yeah, they are there for memory purposes. He started liking cameras, you know, I guess that's kind of rubbed off on him. He loves to go out and take photos with me. Does pretty good himself. Not bad. Let's see. Also, Mutant Riff. 5 years ago from tomorrow, I was involved in a bicycle accident. Still going to 3 doctors to recover, but doing much better. January 16, 2021 was not a good day. The carbon fiber fork snapped inside a titanium bike frame, resulting in immediate faceplant, multiple surgeries. That does not sound fun. I've experienced having the forks come off on a bike before. Fortunately, I did not faceplant. I was able to, you know, get my feet down, but, you know, I'm not the kind of person that bikes very quickly. So I didn't have that experience. I do not envy the surgeries. I can only imagine. Hopefully you're at least to a point after all this time where it's not constant daily reminders of pain and that sort of thing, but I know how those injuries tend to be. I have some of those myself, not from bicycles, but from car accidents and whatnot, that every time the weather changes, then I can tell. Well, actually, usually it's like, gosh, why is my back hurting like this? What is the deal today? And then I'll check the weather and like, yeah, the weather's changing. Something along those lines. Anyway, I am about to lose my voice, and I cannot breathe through my nose, so I will end this here. I hope you guys are doing great out there. Be sure to leave comments on the videos so we can respond to them and have the conversation, and I will see you guys in the next one.